Hi, I'm Jeff Hecker, and you're listening to The Secrets of Stargate, where we talk about hidden meanings and deeper layers found in the Stargate movies, TV series, and more. And joining me today are Lisa Jones. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Jeff.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Jeff.
All right, today we are discussing the 5th episode of Season 10 of SG-1, Uninvited. Cam Mitchell arrives at General O'Neill's cabin to spend a few days with SG-1 and General Landry to get to know each other outside of the SGC. The rest of the team is delayed, while Jackson is in England researching Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. They are not alone, however, as something in the woods is watching Landry and Mitchell. Teal'c is off-world on a mission with SG-3, investigating a village that has been attacked by some creature. Vala offers to assist in capturing it, insisting that it could be worth some money. When trying to capture it, they are attacked, but Teal'c has to blow it up with a grenade, and the resulting autopsy shows it was mutated from a native monkey-like creature. They determine that it was changed by a parasite from another dimension that is attracted by the Sodan cloaking device, which previously emitted radiation that the SGC shielded in order to protect the wearers. And meanwhile, at the cabin, Landry and Mitchell are stuck inside due to weather. Mitchell goes for a run and hears a hunter in the woods get attacked. Locals soon come out to try and find and kill this monster, but think it is a bear. And during the hunt, some hunters shoot what they thought was something moving, which turns out to be a trust agent wearing the Sodan cloak to spy on SG-1. With the team all finally arriving, minus Daniel, they determine one of the dimensional creatures was attracted by the trust agent, and they go on the hunt and kill both creatures. The episode ends with SG-1, minus Daniel, playing poker, with General Landry also joining in. All right, so what did you think of this episode, Lisa?
Okay, first, the fact that they started with Jack's cabin was really mean. That was cruel. I didn't like that at all, because you pull up to Jack's cabin and it's not Jack. So I didn't like that. But actually, I enjoyed Landry and Mitchell a lot more than I thought I would. I think everyone's had that really awkward boss that's like, let's have team building. And it's seriously awkward and weird. And all Mitchell wants to do is get away. I liked the team working on this monster that I kind of wish they hadn't shown us. It was, I don't know. It didn't live up to expectations. I think it'd been better if we hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
We can blame early CGI or just budget, or I don't know. I guess we'll talk about that. But otherwise, it was kind of a fun episode. A lot of callbacks to previous seasons, like Sight Unseen and things like that. And an Earthbound episode, we got to see Vancouver in all of its glory. And I don't know. Vala is winning me over, at least the way they're writing her now. And so I found her a lot of comic relief, and as well as Teal'c getting to say a few words.
And what about you, Victor?
Yeah, I like this episode. I liked it more than I thought I would, considering, it's a monster hunt. But we do get a lot of really good team moments on it, especially with Colonel Mitchell and General Landry. I did really enjoy their time together quite a bit. I like that a lot. R.I.P. Sheriff Wade, gone too soon. I liked how they worked in the trust, and once again, it's something the SGC did that causes the death of numerous people. Let's see what else. The monster at the end was underwhelming. On the director's commentary, it was director it was William Waring and director of photography Jim Menard, and they were talking about how they called it the bubblegum monster because supposedly it's this bear that's been taken over by this parasite, but it looks just kind of like one of the enemies in the original Doom video game. But yeah, overall I liked it. Lots of Beau Bridges in it, which is great. He gets to do some very funny things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. It was, relatively fun and relatively, mostly a harmless episode, kind of literally a monster of the week problem to solve. So kind of a callback to some earlier SG-1 type of episodes where, there's not much of the galaxy ending stakes or anything involved. They kind of sprinkle that in thinking maybe this thing is caused by the Ori or something, but then, they really don't go into that. It's really just they're dealing with this parasite and this monster problem. So yeah, overall it was fun. I do kind of wish at the end that they had more of the poker scene. Like that that would have been a fun episode of having the team all actually hanging out together and bonding, but they're all kind of, I think we constantly complain they're all separated and doing different things, and Daniel's not even in this one, and I don't know if that's because his wife had, or if he was on leave for having a baby or something.
Mm-hmm.
Victor, you might know more about that.
As Lisa mentioned last time, they just had their second child, Alexa Doig, and Daniel Jackson, Michael Shanks.
Michael Shanks.
Sorry. And so I, as odd as it sounds, I didn't really miss him.
No.
I don't think he would have had much to do in this episode.
Yeah, that's true.
I think you noticed Dr. Lamb missing more than Daniel Jackson here, because they had to bring in a whole different doctor to do all of these things that she usually would have been doing.
Yeah, and I forget the actress's name, but she's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Once Upon a Time and The Magicians more recently, and she's, from her IMDb, it looked like she's in a variety of Canadian, TV shows. One of those actors that pops up all over the place.
She was on an episode of Psych we watched recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just, we're jumping ahead, but that whole scene of bring back another, untested bio thing back to Earth through the SGC. They don't bring it to the Alpha site or something, but I mean, I guess they were around it anyway, and it didn't do any hurt them after it was dead. So actually, I just thought that was funny.
My favorite part about that is that she's in the lab and the thing's jumping out, and she's like, "Oh no!" And Teal'c was in the observation window, so that means he broke containment because he went into the room with her. So
to shoot it,
to shoot it. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't. I mean, it was a great scene, but I just meant like containment wise, the SGC is a mess.
Yeah, and she wasn't even wearing a full hazmat suit. She just had the face shield, and like her body was all covered. But
some of that is explained by the fact that General Landry isn't there and has left Carter in charge temporarily until Carter can come out. And then I guess Colonel Reynolds would have been in charge or something after that point. But we do get some good Colonel Reynolds moments in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Teal'c is off-world with SG3 trying to find out what happened to a village that had an attack and people were ripped apart, and they think it might be something Ori related. And I couldn't remember if it was something the Ori were doing, but then I remembered when they started talking about the cloak, and I said, "Oh yeah, it's the Sodan cloak is doing something," and I think that's probably the last mention of the Sodan we ever get, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and of course Vala thinks she can make a profit off of this endeavor.
Yeah,
so she wants to go help.
She wants to capture it alive so that she and Teal'c can split it, the profits 50-50.
Yeah, it's only fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked her having experience and tracking and wanting to, that was, I guess, on Earth, not on the other planet, but she had all these little quips to say about where you could find it, and no one listened to her.
Yeah, and I think it was before she went to the planet. She was sitting behind Landry's desk when she was talking to when her and Carter were kind of discussing the plan. And I just thought of course Vala would sit behind the general's desk where no one else should sit. Even I think a few episodes ago there was a joke about Mitchell or Walter or somebody sitting in the chair or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I do like how she says a woman's never sat in this chair, and then Carter corrects her. It's like, actually, Dr. Weir sat there all the time when she was in charge at the SGC.
That was a nice callback, because my brain went, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It just, was that blonde Weir? Brunette Weir? Like, which Weir are we
blonde
talking
Weir,
about?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean Carter could sit behind it now because she is, or she is the one in charge. So I mean, she would have to, potentially sit behind it, but yeah, she's waiting for Reynolds to come back so she and Teal'c and Vala can go out to the cabin, but they don't make it till the very end.
You think about it, so the cabin's supposed to be in Minnesota and they're in Colorado, so that's I don't know what that drive time is, but that's a decent hike for a team building weekend.
Was that the Minnesota cabin, or was that his like Colorado Springs cabin?
No, that's the Minnesota cabin.
Oh, okay.
Because Landry even made a mention when he was talking about that duck or whatever, Something about Minnesota and the duck. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we know Mitchell drove there. You'd think they couldn't use the Odyssey's transporter or something to beam them.
They can't even
beam
use
them
a
from-
helicopter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, get some Asgard beam up then down, right?
yeah. But he gets to drive his Mustang, which I
Yeah.
think we've seen a couple times. He has in kind of an affinity for cars and
Mhm.
classic cars and stuff. So we did get to see his Mustang, which is cool.
Yeah, I guess there were a lot of discussions in the writer's room about what sort of car Mitchell would drive, and finally they settled on muscle car, and so, they knew a guy who had a cool Mustang for him to drive.
That's cool. And you remember in the earlier seasons, Carter had cool cars, her motorcycle, and I forgot what kind of cars it was.
A Volvo.
Okay. Like the little old one in front of the house. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
yeah, I don't know what that was. Yeah, that was different.
Yeah. She's had a couple also. So that would have been nice. They have them chatting more so they could chat about cars now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mitchell and Landry have a little bit of an awkward, like, well, what are we going to do while we wait for the team? And, Mitchell finds out Landry's a birder and likes to go bird watching, and Mitchell's just not into it.
Yeah.
So-
Or I think that was a put on too by General Landry at the end, because at the end he laughs,
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
He said something like that the birds have to find you, or you have to, I forgot what it was. Like you just
have
don't.
the soul of a bird watcher, yeah.
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 Which I laughed because I've gotten into birding. And so my husband's always making fun of me for it. So there you go.
And Mitchell is not very good at chess, or doesn't like playing chess, I should say, which is good because usually the hero in every show is like an expert at chess. So that was a good change.
Well, and evidently, that was poker at the end. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like that Mitchell had that old, mid 2000s laptop that he brought with him.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't old
To
at
write-
the time, but yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, compared to now,
Yeah.
I mean,
It was so big.
yeah, it's like two computers nowadays, like put together. It's
Yeah.
that size, and because he just can't stop working, just can't relax, and Landry just wants them to get to know each other away from the pressures of the fate of the galaxy.
Well, I have a feeling that if Mitchell was hanging out with the team or with other people, he would have no problems relaxing. I think it had more to do with I'm stuck in a cabin in the middle of the woods with my boss.
Yeah.
And all Landry bought was some Red Stripe beer. Like, if you want people to relax, it takes more than a little Red Stripe, but
Yeah, if you're into craft beer, Red Stripes, it's not the best beer, but it's fine.
yeah.
And Jack, I guess, doesn't have anything else lying around that they can drink.
No, I guess not.
I think the last time we saw Jack drinking beer, it was like Guinness, wasn't it? But that was in the
something like that.
Colorado
Yeah.
house.
But and then they're stuck inside due to when it starts raining, and that's when they're playing chess, and they're just and the road's washed out, and they're stuck there and can't get away. They're
Did you feel like you were watching, I mean, I guess I could say a Hallmark movie, but like a made for TV movie where like something bad is going to happen. And, it's like they're stuck and the rest of the people don't make it. And then the power goes off and then there's a storm and then the bridge is washed out. And then, oh no, people are being attacked. And it just,
I don't know. I was optimistic, at least. Like when you get the cabin in the woods motif, I was like, ooh, Evil Dead, they're going to be attacked by deadites or something. And we're going to get lots of like little, cool camera zooms on the door as it's being knocked in and stuff. But we don't get any of that. The only thing that's terrorizing them in the cabin is an invisible trust agent who's trying to spy on them. But all he learns is that Mitchell's terrible at chess and has some form of sleep apnea. So Mitchell's a snorer, everybody.
Yeah, because like when you see the kind of the cloaking view earlier, I couldn't remember if it was the creatures could kind of cloak, or if one of them like how if the device had gotten stuck to them or something. But then you find out it's the trust agent. So
yeah, it's a little confusing because on the planet we do see the creature's point of view when they get to the Stargate, and there's this really cool shot as Vala is trying to dial the Stargate and Teal'c comes out of the woods, and it's all done in one continuous shot up until the creature attacks them and Teal'c shoots it, or blows it up with a grenade rather. But Yeah, so it's a little confusing because we do see the creature's point of view, and I don't know if I can't remember if they use the same filter or a slightly different color filter. So the implication is that the creature's cloaked, but then they can see the creatures in the woods on Earth, which are like, mutated bears, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was a bit confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess you could, I don't know, I'm trying to headcanon it somehow. I guess you could say the parasite can cause them to cloak because it's from the other dimension, so it could shift them. And, when it's in hunting mode, it shifts, it's in the cloak dimension, and then when it's like ready to attack, it shifts into our view or something like that. But
maybe they changed their mind when they were.
I think that might be it.
When they were filming the episode, and they're like, we got some good shots. Like, we're not going to go back and fix that. Like, just leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to save our budget for the upcoming mid-season and finale. So
yeah.
I
thought it was. I mean, overall, it was very engaging. I will say that a doctor pulling all of the innards out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they say what that was?
Just latex.
It was gross. It was
just latex, gooped up pieces of latex. Yeah.
They did a good job. I mean, especially then Carter says, like, I don't need to have lunch now or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just gave you that, like, oh, that's really disgusting.
Yeah, and there's, like we said earlier, they're messing around with it on Earth, not in really any kind of, like, they didn't even have the whole, like, hit the big button to seal the lab or anything. They didn't even do that when the little bug came out of the, I guess it's a mutated monkey is what they said, because
the lemur,
lemur thing.
Yeah. And again, they try to take an inventory of all their Sudan cloaking devices, but lo and behold, one is missing from Area 51 again.
Shocking.
What was missing from Area 51 before? It was a
foothold, the little thing on your chest.
The foothold they missed.
Yeah,
and there's
other multiple times they missed.
I think maybe a hand device or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
one of the beam up, one of the cargo ship signaler things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just always missing stuff there.
They are.
Probably.
You'd think they'd get that under control, right?
Yeah.
Wait, who's in charge of homeworld security? I mean, then. Wasn't it Jack?
Or was Hammond, I think.
Or was it still Hammond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, come on, get it together.
Well, I think the implication is the trust is everywhere, so they've planted agents or planted people who can steal the equipment and stuff. But when we finally get to the trust agent, he was just a very I guess he was just someone low level who's never had combat experience, because he's like, you shot me, I'm shot, I'm bleeding, and just kept complaining.
And he doesn't know that Vala is running the trust, so
yeah,
very low level guy, probably just sent there to observe and report and do nothing else. But he got caught because the hunters come out, because it is or I think they say it's hunting season, or it's about to be hunting season in this
Minnesota. Yeah.
But the story of this monster, because it kills Mitchell, finds the one hunter when he went for his run, like his friend found Mitchell, and there's the story of this monster that's kind of becoming a kind of an urban legend and attracting all the folks to come out and see what it is and everything, because they think it's small town probably, so there's something interesting going on.
Yep.
They did make a good reference to what does Mitchell say? I don't want to have a vice presidential
duck hunt. With Dick Cheney. Yeah,
a bird hunt. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was
that year. It was the same year, 2006.
Yeah, that was an ad lib.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was.
That's fabulous.
Ben Browder put in.
Yeah. So for anyone who's doesn't remember or wasn't born, Vice President Cheney was on a quail hunt with friends, and he accidentally shot somebody with buckshot, and the guy's fine. I mean, but it was terribly. I mean, it was news everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. So good little ad lib there from Ben Browder. Another good line. Carter says, "Holy Hannah," which is something that Jacob would say.
Yeah. I don't think she'd ever said that before. So that was kind of a nice callback to her dad. Yeah.
But yeah, they're I did like when they were back in the SGC when they were kind of trying to test the cloaking device because they figure out that it emits a radiation, but they had to shield it because the Sodan didn't need the shielding because their Jaffa could be healed by their symbiote, but they shielded it for humans, and the radiation was repelling these interdimensional bugs, but they removed it, or they added the shielding, so they now are not repelled, and they Teal'c tests the cloak and gets one, and then I like the line from Teal'c where he says, says something about the Gould on Earth, like and Carter says, yeah, who would have thought that there'd be bigger fish to fry than having a Gould running around on Earth?
Yeah.
That's not a concern anymore, because that would have been huge in season 1 and 2, but now it's like business as usual.
So how many things have they messed up by like workarounds? Wasn't the episode Red Sky where they did something and it took a chunk out of the sun and it turned,
they bypassed the safety protocol to get a lock.
Yeah. It's always something. At least that they're consistent. I like it. I'm sure the writers are like, when in doubt, like, how do we explain this? They're like, bypass safety protocols.
Yeah, but they always manage to fix it somehow.
Yeah. So that's okay.
So, and I mean, the people who died, or I guess it was just the couple, 2 hunters, I guess, that died. And
and everybody else on the planet. Yeah, they get killed like a bunch of people on the planet. Everyone from SG-11 survives this time, though, which was nice.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that on that other planet, those people were like ripped apart, like badly mangled. And that was, what'd you say, a duck or something? Or a
like a lemur, but it was like largely. I mean, if it was like 6
it was mutated
feet tall.
by the
Okay, so this one was like a mutated bear, and I don't think it was as bad.
Well, I mean, they had guns and stuff to shoot it with.
Yeah, the villagers probably didn't have anything. May have had arrows and spears or something, but it took a lot to take down the mutated bear there at the
Plus,
end.
lemurs are sneaky and crafty, so.
Are they?
They dance. If you watch certain
Joey
movies.
the lemur. Yep. Oh yeah.
I was
King
thinking
Julian.
Madagascar. Yeah. They like to move it.
I like to move it. I am King Julian.
But yeah, they all the entire team minus Daniel, like we said, ends up getting out to the forest and using trackers to try to track these things down, which I guess the Odyssey's not around because they could probably scan from orbit or something, but they all show up and try to help and manage to find the bear right as go ahead.
Yeah, I like their plan of like basically fencing in the creature by dropping isotope packets around the perimeter that would repel it, because it mimics the radiation that the cloaking device was supposed to give off. And so I did like that, kind of like, how are they going to fence it in? And they just drop these isotope packets to repel it. So I thought that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Drive it toward where they want to make a kill box. So.
Mm-hmm. And they all work together. That was really nice to see them all.
Yeah.
I love all the behind you or down or duck or whatever they kept saying.
Sir, get down.
Yeah. And it did like Vala like complaining to Teal'c about how like, they should be following her plan. And Teal'c's like, there's the Jaffa saying that the greatest battle plans fall apart if there's no army to follow it. And then, she's like, I shouldn't be working with these amateurs. And then Colonel Reynolds like pushes by her and says like, amateurs coming through.
Yeah, there are lots of good witty dialogue in this one. Yeah. And then at the end, she again is like, well, why would it do that unless usually that happens when there's more than one and they're protecting the other and this and that. And then then there's a second monster, which was nice.
Yeah, and like you said, it does not look very good, but it's only on. I mean, they were smart about it and didn't try to put it on screen for too long. It was at night and all that.
The first one when they shoot it, it does like this very like it just stands there and it goes whump, and they're even saying it's like, oh, you guys didn't have the little arm twitching, like, to make it. They didn't do that, but yeah, it's yeah.
I think I read online they really liked the episode, but they said it was going to be known for this bad looking monster instead of
Yeah.
that's what people were going to remember, not the episode itself.
When we do the next episode of Atlantis, you can really see like which show had the visual effects budget and which one didn't. Because we'll get to that, but it looks amazing and this less so.
Yeah.
Well, and two, the next episode of the show is a bit of a bigger budget because of the additional things and guest stars that they brought back and everything. So, like I said, it's kind of reminiscent of an early season Stargate episode of the earlier seasons, and minimal budget, and again, like we said, it's just on screen for a second, so it really doesn't bother me too much at all. So
no, and I actually liked the whole what we would call Planet of the Week monster of the week, even though we're on Earth mostly. I liked it. I liked that it was they made references. It wasn't just a one-off completely. I mean, the trust was there. They mentioned Agent Barrett, who is de-golded, and
good for him.
Getting over his guilty conscience for causing problems. That was it's nice that he's better.
And I liked all the team building in it a lot. I thought there were some good character moments, especially the poker game at the end.
Yeah. They you have Teal'c and Sam playing. They're kind of facing off because Mitchell's low on chips or out, and Vala, I guess, is just sitting out because she's being very chatty with the poker, which I like how Mitchell called it out, because I play poker sometimes with friends, and when you play with somebody who's constantly like narrating the game, it can get a little irritating. So
I did like what you said, King of Spades, possible royal marriage, or King Kong in the works.
But
that wasn't your ending quote.
No, that's not it.
She does correctly. I get it that it's the river though, because the river's the last card when you play Texas Hold'em. So
Oh, okay.
But it could have been funny if they said, it's the pond or something to make it different.
I loved how excited Carter was that she was bluffing and she won.
Yeah.
It was like, that's never happened. It's amazing,
Yeah, because she's betting against Teal'c, who's so nonchalant and never will reveal anything, and he's calling her, or she goes all goes. I don't care where she goes all in, or if she just calls calls the bet, but either way,
goes all in. Yeah. And then Teal'c gets to say a true warrior knows when to fold him. And gets corrected by Mitchell that a true warrior knows when to hold him.
Yeah.
And then they have this like staring contest, right when they're trying to decide. And I just love that the show is given into some of the real relaxed team moments. I feel like years ago it was like awkward team bonding moments, and now it just screams that they really are in, I mean, think about it. You work with someone that closely for 10 years, you're either quitting, getting off the team, or you finally have bonded. I mean, you don't stick around if you're meh.
Yeah. And then Landry's trying to join, or they're trying to get General Landry to join, and Mitchell, of course, he's finally relaxed enough to try to make a joke, and it does not appear to go over well. But then you get Landry just.
I don't know why it didn't, but I mean, it would have had to have been something more inappropriate than that. But that's what they had, I guess, in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it was that Landry was putting him on and making him think he was in trouble for saying that. Because there was an earlier joke too about a big kid in a candy store, and he says, "I was a big boy."
Yeah.
Like a fat kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
And General Landry's like, I was a big kid.
I was a large child to myself, and I never much appreciated that sort of. Yeah.
I love it. I did read that Beau Bridges, this was his favorite episode.
Yeah, I can see why.
Of SG1. I think he's on camera more than we see him most of the season, right? He's got a lot going on.
I think he gets to be out directing troops in the field, which I don't think we ever really see. I think for the most part he's in the SGC or in meetings. We don't really ever see him picking up weapons, and Hammond got to do that occasionally. So
yeah, I think his first trip through the gate is next episode of SG1.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's Cam's 200th trip through the gate.
Yep.
So. But for this one, did y'all have any final thoughts on this one?
No, it's good. I liked it. I liked it more than I thought I would.
Yeah, I would say the ones that we like a lot are usually the hardest ones to talk about. So
Yeah.
so I liked it. So it was a lot of fun, and I didn't really remember it, so that was kind of even more fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it was, overall, like we said, pretty good one. Did we have any good alternate titles, Victor?
Yeah, in Spanish we got Sin Invitación, which is without invitation, so uninvited. In German we got Mutanten, which is mutants. And then in Japanese we got Mare Kare Zaro Kyaku, which is uninvited guest.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a couple uninvited guests in this one, so... All right. Well, we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our patrons who make it possible for us to create the Secrets of Stargate, including Jeremy C., Elizabeth E., Mark G., Donald S., and Mike D. Their generous donations make it possible for us to continue the Secrets of Stargate and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them at sqpn.com/give. And be sure to follow the show on Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or find our video versions at youtube.com/StarQuestMedia. To find previous episodes of The Secrets of Stargate and to send feedback, please visit sqpn.com/Stargate. You can email us at stargate@sqpn.com or follow StarQuest on social media at facebook.com/StarQuestMedia or on X at SQPN. And also join our Discord server at sqpn.com/Discord. And we'll be back next time with the next episode of Stargate Atlantis Progeny. So until then, Lisa Jones, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of Stargate.
Thanks, Jeff.
And Victor Lambs, thank you as well.
Thanks, Jeff, and the fulvous whistling duck. Very rare. Endangered, actually. Only spotted one once in my life, and as good fortune would have it, their mating season is right now, and they love to come out after a good rain.
Certainly do.
I'm not going to do the call, though, because that was improvised by Beau Bridges on set.
That was awesome.
All right, and once again, I'm Jeff Hecker. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Stargate on StarQuest.
Anyway, I'm sorry, but that just happens to be how I feel about it. What do you think?